Hey everybody, AW here, in order. Presenting you Lane to SmackDown, my wrestling channel, guys. Yes, the topic down below, guys. It's what you think. That's what we're going to talk about. Since it's Halloween, we're going to talk about WCW's Halloween Havoc. Okay. But before we get into that, do me a favor. If you're new here, like, smash the button. Smash that button for me, okay? If and subscribe. Subscribe. Also subscribe if you're into wrestling. Also tell your friends, everybody that you know about this channel. But yes, we're gonna talk about WCW Halloween Havoc, okay? Just WCW Halloween Havoc, not the WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. Okay. We're not gonna talk about NXT versions. Just WCW. And you know, Halloween Havoc is actually was my favorite WCW pay-per-view. It was. But this pay-per-view had a lot of ups and downs. Like had a lot of crazy stuff happen during this pay-per-view during in the WCW days. A lot of stuff. And yes, the title says it all. The Yeti. Yeti. Yes, we're definitely gonna get the Yeti stuff. That definitely did happen. No one. Here. For my friend Brian. Yeah, I want people to come on. So let's take a look at my thumbnail. Here is my thumbnail. As you see in the middle, it's the Halloween Havoc, obviously. Halloween Havoc. But you see on the left as DDP and Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship. Havoc 98. And on the right, you got Warrior and Hogan in one of the worst Halloween Havoc matches ever. And we're going to talk about why. Oh, I did send him one. Okay. Okay. Chris, I want Chris in here. So let's get on with it, guys. Okay. Halloween Havoc's one of the oldest WCW pay per views. It's not the oldest, it's one of the oldest. Starrcade, I believe, is the oldest. Starrcade, and that's a legendary pay per view, obviously, right? Starrcade is WCW's, or was WCW's WrestleMania. Before actually WrestleMania. It was actually before WrestleMania. I think 83 is when Starrcade debuted. I don't know. I wasn't live then. I wasn't live for the first WrestleMania, but no West. But pretty sure 83 was Starrcade and 85 was WrestleMania. But Halloween Havoc came later on. I think 88, 8, or 9 was the debut of Halloween Havoc. And of course, it always took place during October, Halloween season. Like, why not, right? Maybe Ambassador wants to come on. You know what? I haven't. And yeah, it's one of the staples of WCW. And yeah, it's like my favorite. Obviously, the sets are Halloween themed. You know, the stage is always Halloween themed. It makes logical sense. You got you got like tombstones, pumpkins, ghosts, jack o' lanterns, stuff like that. Halloween themed. And right now, it's being used by WWE, but as a takeover for NXT, is an NXT thing. I prefer, personally, I would love to have Halloween Havoc as the October pay per view, and you could do a Hell in a Cell at Halloween Havoc. Hell in a Cell match. Apparently, reports are coming out, like reportedly that Triple H might do away with the Hell in a Cell pay per view, premium live event, and make Hell in a Cell match more meaningful, like a blow off to a match or a feud or something. Which is ideal, which makes sense. Hell in a Cell should be saved for something big. Like that. So yeah, I like that idea. Make Halloween have an actual main roster pay per view, and make it have Hell in a Cell at that event. Make yeah. What do you guys think? I don't know. Where you guys listening to this? What do you guys think? Should it have should Halloween Havoc be on the main roster pay-per-view? And should be Hell Cell should end there. I personally think so. Tell me your guys' thoughts. Tell me your guys' thoughts there, guys. Okay. Okay. So yes, like what title says, it's not my top stuff, not my top best moments of Halloween Havoc. This is the good and bad and the Yeti. The Yeti. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show you the Yeti, the video clip of the Yeti. We're gonna get into that. That's probably one of the worst things ever on wrestling television. Period. Not just WCW, but you know, wrestling overall. Where's the Yeti? The Yeti, right here. Right here. The Yeti! And Yeti was played by Juan Reese, tall, very tall wrestler who later on in WCW about 97, 98 would join Raven's flock led by Scott Levy, aka Raven. And yeah, we're gonna get to how the Yeti came to be, okay? What led up to that, to the creation of the Yeti or the Yeti, whatever. I don't know. Oh, I know who might want on. My good friend. Do I have him in here? Come on. If RJ wants to come on, I don't know. If RJ wants to come on, I don't know. RJ likes wrestling. And now my internet's down. All right. Okay. So I remember I didn't see this live. I was young. I was a kid, so I didn't watch this live. I was a very young kid. But I did watch this when I was older. Uh Electric chair involved in Halloween Havoc. Yes, WCW did use an electric chair during Halloween Havoc. I think it was 91 or 92 or 92. And Abdullah the Butcher, Abdullah the Butcher, he likes to bleed. He likes to stab his opponent with forks, knives. No, not knives. That's dangerous. But forks, like this, into his opponents, make him bleed, bust it open. Abdullah the Butcher. He got fried on an electric chair with Mick Foley as Cactus Jack being the one pulling the lever that would obviously be the one that fries. Abdullah the Butcher. And it was crazy, man. Of course, in real life, you should be dead, right? In real life, you'd be dead. Some of you would be dead, obviously. But but obviously, this is wrestling, and yeah, you can say wrestling is fake, but scripted, whatever. That's not the point. Of course, he wasn't dead. He was just fried. He's not the Undertaker, really. And that was crazy, man. That was crazy. I think that might have been 91 or 92. I'm not sure which year. That It was insane. I didn't watch it live. I was young, but I have video of it. I mean, I can watch it on the network anytime of that match. It's freaking crazy. It was freaking crazy. And Mankind, Mick Foley was known as Cactus Jack at the time. In WCW, he was Cactus Jack. And I remember Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, and also had a match with Vader and Halloween Havoc. This is where Cactus Jack in kayfabe suffered head injury and amnesia from being beaten badly by Vader. Um, I think that was 92 or 93. And Vader, man, Vader, I'll tell you something about Vader. He's, for a big man, for a 400-pound man, that guy can move and he can do moonsaults. He's no slouch in the ring. I tell you that. He was, I can tell you one thing, he was no slouch in the ring. He could do a moonsault, man. Or the Vader bomb. Pretty athletic for a 400-pound man. And that match was great. I just saw WWE is having best of Halloween Havoc matches. That's one of the matches they showed. Was Vader versus Cactus Jack at Halloween Havoc. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have to reply to someone. But yeah, it's and there was a match Sting and Jake the Snake Roberts had. I don't really understand it. Something to do with a glove. I don't know. But then later on, how we have it, we got some other solid matches, good matches. 94, we had a cage match between Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. This is when Hulk Hogan Hulk Hogan but came into WCW in '94 and beat Ric Flair on his debut match to become WCW champion. And then they had the rematch at Halloween Havoc in '94 in a cage. And the cage was actually pretty small. It wasn't a big cage like they had now. Be right- And also involved with that match. We had Mr. T as a special guest referee, enforcer, whatever you want to call him. But also Hogan had Sting and Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart was his manager. Ric Flair had the sensational Sherry Martel in his corner. And this match was crazy. They used a cage a lot. You know, Hogan won, of course. Hogan wasn't going to lose. But I'll tell you one thing. You got to give to Sherry Martel. Her career, she was a former wrestler, but she's been known to take bumps from men, and she took bumps in this match like a rag doll, especially from Hogan. Hogan clotheslined her, body slammed her, threw her off the turnbuckle. This woman really does take. You got to respect Sherry Martel. Rest in peace, Sherry Martel, for taking bumps from men in her career. But this match is crazy as heck, man. Like there was times where Mr. T would get in front of Hogan. Like Hogan was choking with Flair was choking Flair, and Mr. T would get in front of him to pull him off and stuff. No, you can't do that. Even though in the cage match there's no DQ, I guess Mr. T didn't get the memo. I'm just reading like something from my phone. It's not wrestling related, but it's sports related. Okay, I'm back. Okay. It was, and you gotta miss. And there was a guy in a mask who hit Sting with a bat or a metal pipe, and we don't know who it is, but it's believed to be Bruiser Bar Beefcake. And that was crazy. That was crazy. That was actually pretty good, in my opinion. In '94. Bash to the Beach, not Bash to the Beach, Halloween Havoc match between Flair and Hogan in the cage match. And they get to 95, and this is the debut of the Yeti. 95 Halloween Havoc. But before we get to this, 95 is the debut of the Giant Paul White. You know, the Big Show in WWE, the Giant WCW, and Paul White in AEW. And this is the debut year of the Big Show. They build him as a son of Andre the Giant. And if you know Andre, he's the one Hogan beat. You know, Andre, like the eighth one in the world. He's been in the Princess Bride movie. But if you know the history, Hogan's the one that beat Andre at WrestleMania 3 in Detroit, I believe Detroit. And this is supposedly Paul White was billed as Andre's son to get revenge on Hogan. So, but the whole thing was this is all led by Kevin Sullivan, who created this supernatural, you know, faction known as the Dungeon of Doom. And he was the leader. He would have wrestlers you would recognize. You would recognize in Dungeon of Doom. There was Kamala, there was Shark, who was Earthquake, who was a brother Relief King, was Zodiac. Who else? Some others. Oh, Haku, Umeng, who was Haku. There's others in the Dungeon of Doom, but none so big and none so pushed as Big Show or the Giant, Andre the Giant's son. And I remember at War Games in '95, the pay-per-view before Halloween Havoc, the Giant would come in and he snapped Hogan's neck. Now I can't show you that clip as much as I want to, but because I probably get if I have sound, I'm not sure, but it was pretty crazy. Maybe I can show it. Maybe I could turn off sound. I'm not sure. But I can tell you one thing. It was crazy, okay? And then obviously the Giant has a number one contendership match, right? Title match, not contendership match. Title match for the WCW Heavyweight Championship at how we have it. But before we get to that, and Dungeon of Doom was a joke of a faction, but it did introduce us to the Giant, Paul White, who was pretty athletic for a 400-pound man at the time. But before we got that, they had a monster truck, I guess, battle where they wrestled on top of the roof of the what's it Joe Louis Arena, Detroit. Yeah, Joe Louis Arena, the Detroit Red Wings Arena. Monster truck battle. And the object of this, I wouldn't say match, but the object of this contest was to knock your opponent off the roof, I guess. And it got to a point where, let me see if I can find it, and I have to turn out the volume, okay? Because I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure you're not allowed you can show but without volume. So let me go. It was crazy though. Yeah, it was very crazy. I can tell you that, man. And Hogan, Hogan didn't want to knock the Giant off, but he did knock. It's pretty crazy. I'm back, guys. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. But somehow the Giants survived being knocked off Joe Arena. And this, I'll tell you one thing. They had the match, but there's the shenanigans at the end of the match when Dungeon and Doom attacked Hogan, Giant attacked Hogan, Savage came out to help out Hogan, but the Dungeon and Doom attacked Hogan, and then Lex Luger came out, who just returned from WWE in September, turned heel and attacked Hogan and Savage, and then you saw, well, this guy come. Are you kidding me? Are you? This guy, yeah, the Yeti, as I said, played by Juan Reese. Here we go again with the internet. Come on. I'm sorry about that, guys. And you know what happens? Giant bear hugs Hogan from the front, and Yeti is supposed to bear hug Hogan from the back, and it looks like they're both dry humping Hogan. And it was pretty bad. And he doesn't look like a Yeti, right? He looks more like a mummy, right? Wrapped in toilet paper, looks like, or bandages, whatever. Ugh. It was pretty funny though. Pretty funny. It's one of the bad moments of the Halloween Havoc. It's one of the bad moments of Halloween Havoc, I can tell you that. The Yeti! Okay. 96. was a great ending to Halloween Havoc. 1996 was when NWO was on top, right at the beginning, their ascension. They've been already a few months around, Hogan, the Outsiders, I think the Giant, I think Ted DiBiase, Six, I'm not sure who else, part of NWO. It was a few months into the NWO, from July to October at this point, so about 3 or 4 months, the NWO was around. And we just keep getting stronger and stronger, bigger and bigger too, with more people coming in and joining the faction, stronger and stronger. It seems like nothing was able to stop the NWO, which for a long time hasn't, until we got the Crow like Sting in '97. But '96, we had Hogan versus Savage in the main event, which was a great main event, good main event. Obviously, Savage is not going to win here. Hogan was the WCW champion, and remember, he spray painted the championship belt, NWO, in black. Obviously, in black makes sense. Hogan got the win here. Giant had a match with Jeff Jarrett, who just joined WCW and was part of Horsemen, or tried to be part of Horsemen. But what made this great ending, what made this great, Hogan was celebrating with the Giant his victory, right? They retained the title and his victory. All of a sudden, you hear theme music drop of bagpipes happening. Scott. You know what bagpipes are, right? It's very famous instrument that they use in Scotland. The Scottish people use, right? And all of a sudden, you hear bagpipes, and Hogan, and then you see, and all of a sudden you see Rowdy Roddy Piper come down to the ring. And Hogan seems like he's seen the ghost, because in his career, Hogan has never really defeated Piper. Really. And this shocked Hogan. Like he's like the one guy he's never beaten. Piper's now in WCW. That was a great ending to a pay-per-view. Having Hogan's nemesis appear. One of Hogan's nemesis appear at the end to shock the world and to shock Hogan, to make Hogan worried. It's like, oh no, this guy. And that was great. That was in '96, the end of '96. This is when Hogan defeated Savage. Remember, Hogan is the one turned on Savage at Bash at the Beach. He leg dropped Savage, right? It's like Tony Schiavone, like Hogan, no, Hogan, no, right? That's that moment. And that was that was actually pretty good. You go back and watch. If you have the network, if you're in the States at Peacock, I suggest you watch the Hogan Savage match and wait to the end. Okay? When Piper shows up. And they had a match at Starrcade '96. I remember that. I mean, I don't remember like watching it live, but I remember watching it on the network. But that's, Starrcade. Maybe I'll do a Starrcade thing. I don't know. Maybe someday. I don't know. But yeah, and then '97, guys, Halloween Havoc '97. The main event was Hogan and Piper in a cage match, but that's not the match of the night. The match of the night was led by two cruiserweights who eventually in WWE did become champions. Sadly, one passed away, and that's Eddie Guerrero back in 2005, and this Rey Mysterio is still going strong in WWE. But their match in '97 for the cruiserweight championship was incredible, like breathtaking. The moves they did, the psychology, the moves. It's like they know each other in and out. You could tell in that match how much they know each other, and it's like they don't even need to whisper what they're gonna do to each other. They already it's like they read each other's minds what they're gonna do in that match. To like that's how good that match was between Ray and Eddie, and that was the first of the incredible matches they had live on TV, especially in a bigger audience. And Halloween Havoc '97, when Ray captured the title by pinning Eddie Guerrero to become cruiserweight champion. And the thing is, remember, cruiserweights were always like the beginning of the show of Nitro or whatever, just to get the crowd popping, right? Because they always put on some of the best matches in WCW. But you never see him against a bigger man, right? You never see him against the main eventers, the 200-pound man. You always see him against they always face the same each other usually, right? In WCW. But those two put on an incredible, phenomenal match, and that was definitely the match of the night. I still talked about to this day about Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, 1997. How we have a cruiserweight title on the line. I still talk to this day. I guarantee it. And if you haven't seen it, check out Network or wherever you are, wherever you can watch all the WWE stuff, or Peacock in the States. I suggest you check it out, man. I guarantee you'll freaking love it. The Yeti! I'm sorry, I just had to do it. But yeah, and then the main event was Piper and Hogan in the cage match where Hogan won. It wasn't really that special. 98 was interesting though. 98 had a good main event and a terrible match. Really, really bad match. One of the worst matches in Halloween Havoc history. You saw my thumbnail. You saw my thumbnail. What? What I'm talking about. Okay? So So this is when it really got really hardcore interesting. Hardcore. I watched it, but I was more of a casual at the time. But around 98, that's when it became hardcore interesting. Around the Attitude Era, right? That's when I got really deep into it. And 98, I remember 98 how it happened. The first match was Raven versus Jericho. And this is when Raven was not happy with WCW and he lost his flock. And this is where Jericho was, I guess at his peak in WCW. He was trying to get to the main event level status. But in WCW, there's always seemed to be a plateau, right? For guys like Jericho. I remember at this time it was NWO, Black and White, and NWO Wolfpack. Another faction that came out of Black and White were baby faces. They had Lex Luger, Sting, Conan, Kevin Nash. I remember that. In this pay-per-view, Kevin Nash, powerbomb Scott Hall 3 times and didn't bother pinning and winning the match. He didn't care about winning the match. It was just the time when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were in a feud with each other because they're rival factions, different NWOs. And Scott Hall, they're playing his real life demons into storyline with him being an alcoholic. And tragically, he passed away this year. But in real life, he was an alcoholic, had demons, and he did drugs. But they were using that in storyline in WCW. And now you're looking back at it, yeah, probably not a good idea. right? At the time, it was people thought a little differently then, obviously back then, but now in hindsight, probably not the right thing to do. And then you got Sting and Bret Hart, and I think Bret Hart was finally finding his foot, his place in WCW with his feud with Sting. I know a lot of people were not happy when Sting went to the Wolfpack and he dyed his not dyed face painted his face red, black and Wolfpack colors, and his attire, his skinlet was black and red to represent the Wolfpack. I know a lot of people were not happy about it because he was feuding with the NW Black and White for basically a year and a half. I know people were not happy with that. Unfortunately, this match ended with Sting losing to to passing out to the sharpshooter because Sting was hurt and he needed time off in real life. So this is away from when I'm off TV for a while. And then I remember leading to this match, Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner. I remember leading this match. They promoted Chucky, the Bride of Chucky movie, and he actually like Chucky on screen. We're talking to Rick. I think it was on Nitro. It was pretty freaking hilarious. Funny but hilarious. I mean, funny but hilarious. That's the same thing. What am I talking about? and then And then we got to the best matches of the night. Well, one one of the best matches of the night. Oh no, we'll talk about so we'll talk about this one of the worst Halloween Havoc matches I've ever seen. Hogan versus Warrior. This was not a good match. Now you couldn't be called Ultimate Warrior because of legal reasons with WWE, but WCW brought in Warrior in August September to feud with Hogan. Feud with Hogan, and I'll tell you one thing. I'll be right back. I have to fix my TV. Okay, this match was horrible. This match was just horrible. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. Back. But be right back, guys. And this is the match where they blew the fireball spot. You know, Hogan is supposed to, you know, you know, where The fireball was supposed to Hogan was supposed to fire the fireball into Warrior, but that was botched, and that kind of I think it blew off Hogan's eyebrows. But Hogan did get the win here, get his win back because Ultimate Warrior did beat him at WrestleMania 6, and this is for Hogan to get his win back. And WCW decided not to bring Warrior back again because it's too much of a headache. And I remember that one promo on Nitro, it was like 10 minutes long, and Hogan and Bischoff had no clue what the Warrior was rambling about in that promo. Bischoff admitted, like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah. The 98, that was this match, right? Not a good match. Not a good match. But the main event, and this is a funny story with this match. This is a funny story, guys. This match was actually good. DDP versus Goldberg for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. This match was actually really good. But the problem with this match, the pay-per-view ran overtime. And so it went off the air. So nobody on TV got to see this match. Only the people at the arena who got paid or whatever got to see this match live. But whoever ordered this pay-per-view didn't get to see this match live but on Nitro the next night, they decided to show this match because it's the right thing to do. And I'm sorry for the blue screen. That's the TV. I'm sorry about that. And remember, this time, Goldberg still had an undefeated streak, right? Where he had to take a loss. And many people thought DDP would be the one to beat that streak. Now, this match is good, despite some miscues in this match. There were miscues. And a lot of Goldberg matches just tend to be miscues. It tends to people get hurt. DDP even admitted he got hurt. Goldberg admitted he got hurt. And apparently that happens a lot in Goldberg matches. So I'm not all that surprised about that. But this match is actually good, man. DDP didn't get the winner. Goldberg, his streak continued. In this match, I should actually watch this match too. It's actually one of the better Halloween Havoc matches. This is one of the best Goldberg matches in WCW. One of the best Goldberg matches because his matches usually last like 2 or 3 minutes to 5 minutes. This match is actually 10 to 15 minutes long, and this is actually might be his. I don't know. There's matches. There's a lot of matches Goldberg's been in WCW, but this actually might be his best match in WCW. I think DDP did give him his best match. And DDP was like 30 something years old. He was like 38, 39 at the time. He started wrestling at 35. He was around wrestling as a manager and stuff, but he finally learned how to get physical and to learn to actually wrestle around 35 years old. And he put up a good match. And he reversed the jackhammer into a diamond cutter? I don't remember. But I suggest you check this match out. This is actually one of the good matches. 1999 Halloween Havoc. This is a time where WCW started really not making any sense. Sting was a heel at this time. It was a bad move because Hogan returned as the red and yellow in late 99. So they had to turn Sting heel. I guess it's because Sting was a babyface when Hogan was NWO Hollywood. But this time, since Hogan was yellow and red, Sting had to go heel. It did not work. Sting as a heel does not work, especially that time. I think he turned face again at that pay-per-view. I don't know. Halloween Havoc 99 was not a good pay-per-view. A lot of stuff in WCW 99, 2000 on was not good. And I don't remember Halloween Havoc 2000, to be honest with you. I fucking don't remember that. Because I know they had a pay-per-view Halloween Havoc 2000 because March 2001, that's when WCW was bought by Vince McMahon, the rival owner of WWE, and that's when WCW folded, I guess. And there was no Halloween Havoc 2001 until its revival at NXT in 2020. Well, that But yeah, but I don't remember anything interesting. 99 was just bad. I just remember Sting was a heel. I think Sid Vicious might be Benoit at that pay per view. I don't know. Become U.S. champion. I don't know what happened in that pay per view, man. I don't remember because it's that bad. In 2001, I I don't know if you've ever seen it because WCW in 2001 was like, oh, it was dying. It was really, really dying at the time, and a few months, about a half a year later, dead. I'm glad it's back in a way. It's somewhat Halloween Havoc. The WWE has decided to bring it back, but I wish it was I wish October it was a main roster pay per view, not an NXT pay per view. And this pay per view, Halloween Havoc would be perfect for the Hell in a Cell match. Perfect. And every Halloween Havoc match, you have a Hell in a Cell match. It'd be perfect for this gimmick pay per view. Hell in a Cell and Halloween Havoc. I wish it was a main roster pay per view premium live event instead of a NXT. Okay, and if they decide to bring back Starcade, good. But Starcade will still never be WWE. Starcade will not be Starcade like how it was back in the day WCW because Starcade was legitimately WCW's WrestleMania. It started before WrestleMania. I said this earlier in the stream. It was before WrestleMania, but this is a whole year, all the way from January to December. WrestleMania is always in like late March or early April. But yeah, man, there's this pay per view had some of the good, had some good, a lot of bad, it's a lot of good, a lot of bad, and the Yeti, who doesn't look like a Yeti at all, more like a 7 foot mummy, but oh well. But yeah, something. This is something. This is a fun pay per view. It was one of the most creative pay per views I think. That's what I like about WCW. The other pay per views were very creative. I like that, and WWE does it too. But I think WCW is a little bit more creative in the pay per views. The themes of the pay per views, the names and the themes of the pay per view, in the stage, in the production of the pay per views. Halloween Havoc, Starcade, World War III came in November for a few years. You got Slamboree, Spring Stampede, Sold Out, Uncensored, Bash at the Beach, Great American Bash, World Wild. I think it had better pay per views than WWE. And WWE is forced to go to more than four pay per views four or five pay per views a year because the WCW expanded their pay per view use. So it forced WWE to expand their pay per views because WWE from 93 to 96 only had about 93 to 95 had five pay per views. And WCW maybe had about six. And the WCW decided to go to maybe about 10 or 12 a year. And then WWE said, yep, we got to go to about double digits because WCW is doing that. And WCW reached a level where they were legit competition to WWE and overtaking him, especially from 96 to like 98. 83 weeks as Eric Bischoff podcast name is because WCW was beating Nitro. Well, WCW was beating WWE in the ratings for 83 weeks, about a year and a half. So yeah, what do you guys think about? Tell me what your favorite pay per views. Tell me your favorite pay per view. What do you like about how we have it? What other pay per view should I go over? Tell me in the comments below, guys. So if you're new here, like this video and subscribe. Smash this button. Share this video. Share the stream actually. Tell your friends about this. If they're into wrestling, tell your friends, colleagues, and family. If they're in wrestling, check out Lane to SmackDown on my YouTube channel. And next week we are having Crown Jewel, right? WWE Crown Jewel is next Saturday. Prediction show will be Thursday. It will be a stream for Crown Jewel's prediction show. And next Saturday, I will be doing a watch along for Crown Jewel. I cannot show you the event on here, But make sure you have your service on whenever you watch your premium live events on, and we can watch the pay per view together, okay? Or a premium live event together. So yeah, once again, AEW presents Lane SmackDown. Is thankful for you watching, and with that, AWO presenting Lane SmackDown is out.